Good afternoon. So we are going to start history, ancient India today, and this is the first step that you can understand how history is so important. History. Simple definition is study of past. Look, history is so important that entire life that you come across in all the discipline, whether it is a sociology, whether it is a political science, whether it is a science, all had evolved on the basis of the study of past. So history is a study of past. So history is not father of all the subject, but basically it is a mother of all the subject. What I said, history is basically what? Mother of all the subject. Because all the subjects that we study today evolved on the basis of the past experiences, and that study of past is called history. There are different dimensions, but we study everything, whether it is a polity, whether it is economy, whether it is a society, it's all together varied as per the time frame. So history is a study of past. But when we say when we should start the history, if we take the definition, then when we should start the history? Ever since man became human, or ape turned into man, or earth came into existence. So earth came into existence, that is at least the beginning, and then ape turned into man, man into human. I have doubt. And then till 2022, this is called history. If this is history, then history is a never-ending subject. So we need to redefine the history. It is not a study of past. Suppose you came to KSJ, it is not at all historical in your life. You do many things. But when you become an IS, it would become historical. So modification of the definition is only those events of the past, only those events of the past which have great impact on future. Social, economic, political life of humanity. Only those events of the past which have great impact on future, social, economic and political life of humanity. This is called history. So history is a study of past. But only few events we have noted, not all the events, only those events of the past which have great impact on future, social, economical and political life of humanity. This is the first definition that we come across with history. Let us define first definition of the history. In entire time span, only those events of the past which have great impact on future social, economic and political life of humanity. That event is called history. Okay, so we have defined the first thing. Look, history written in the modern times, but we wrote about 1000 years of the past. So 2000, 3000 years of the past, we write history. How do we write history? By assessing the facts and figure of the 2,000-3,000 years back. Suppose 2000 years back, we found some evidence. And then we try to manipulate the evidence in the modern times. We found all this evidence in the modern times. Recently, we have found the Ashokan inscription. But this inscription is almost about 2300 years back, 2500 years back. So, we found the evidence which is 2500 years back, but in modern days, historians analyze it. And this analysis is presented in a very scientific manner. And that becomes a course curriculum that we study. So what is history here? The second definition is, history is analysis of the facts, scientific analysis of the facts, scientific analysis of facts by the historian. Scientific analysis of the facts by the historians. Scientific analysis of the facts by the historians. Historians making the relevant fact historical. Historical and irrelevant fact. Unhistorical. History is scientific analysis of the fact by the historian. History is scientific analysis of the fact by the historians. Historians making the relevant fact historical and irrelevant fact unhistorical. Historians making the relevant fact historical and irrelevant fact unhistorical. This is context of history. History is scientific analysis of the fact by the historians. Historian making the relevant fact historical and irrelevant fact unhistorical. Historian making the relevant fact historical and irrelevant fact unhistorical. History. We have divided history in three segments: ancient India, medieval India and modern India. So today we will start the ancient India. Ancient India. Look, there is no debate in human history that man evolved from ape. That is also proved by biology, and human activities also prove the same thing, that we have ape ancestor. This is a similarity. The activities of human is also not less than ape ancestor. So ancient India, what I said, that there is no debate about the ape origin of human. Ape is the ancestor of human. 1856, Darwin wrote a book, Origin of Species. In which he laid down the theory of ape ancestor of human. Origin of a Species, 1856, in which he laid down the theory of ape ancestor of human. And Darwin also wrote a book, Descent of Man. He said that since most of the ape live in Africa, therefore we should look our ancestor in Africa. So after call of Darwin, researchers, biologists, anthropologists, they rushed to Africa and they found the many evidences regarding the ape ancestor of human. Since majority of the researches were conducted in Africa, therefore we should look our ancestor in Africa. Therefore we have the maximum evidence of the human evolution we have from Africa. Maximum evidence of human evolution we have from Africa. After call of Darwin. After the call of Darwin. Australopithecus. This is the first known bipedal on earth. First known bipedal on earth. First known bipedal on earth. 2 foots, the walk on 2 foots. First known bipedal on earth, Australopithecus. After Australopithecus, Homo sapiens, Australopithecus we have Homo sapiens. There are so many species in between, Homo erectus, Homo habilis. We are not going into the detail, we are just coming to the part of history. We are not into anthropology, so we will not talk about anything in between. This is not evolutionary thing, but Homo sapiens, this is a biological name that we have. Before that, we have Homo erectus, when the human was about to place. Homo erectus. Homo sapiens and Homo erectus. Erect ape man, and then it become Homo sapiens. Erect ape man and then Homo sapiens. Okay. So this is the name of the species that we are, this is name of the species, biological species. Australopithecus. Now human started using stone to make tools. Human started using stone to make the tools. Ever since human started using stone to make the tools, we call this is the beginning of Stone Age. This is the beginning of Stone Age. Ever since human started using stone to make tools, this is the beginning of Stone Age. This is the beginning of Stone Age. So ever since humans started using stone to make tools, this is called beginning of Stone Age. So this is our syllabus. This is a beginning of our syllabus, Stone Age. Look, normally ancient history, political structure, and then ancient history, culture, the focus is there on the culture. I will show you some graphical thing so that you can understand it very easily. So there is focus on culture. Lots of focus will be there. So Stone Age. Stone Age, it was divided in three parts. It was divided in three parts. Paleolithic, Mesolithic, and Neolithic. Paleolithic, Mesolithic, and Neolithic. It was a Stone Age, that is stone, that sandstone was normally used to make the tools. Sandstone was normally used. Sandstone. Because it can be easily broken. Sandstone. So sandstone, it was a very easy to break Stone Age. So Paleolithic, Mesolithic, and Neolithic. Look, in different books we have a different type of periods. So nothing to worry about the periodization. Almost around 2.5 lakh BC, to 10,000 BC. This is Paleolithic age. 2.5 lakh BC to 10,000 BC, it was a Paleolithic age. And then 10,000 BC to 6,000 BC, this is Mesolithic age. I told you that in different books there are different periodization. So historians calculate it much earlier also, much later also. 1.5 lakh BC was also sometime. So this is how Paleolithic was done. And thereafter we have 6,000 BC onward, we have Neolithic period. And then we start the Harappan civilization and all. Harappan civilization to all. Stone Age. So we will first study the Paleolithic age. This Paleolithic age, it is also known as Old Stone Age. Paleo means old, lithic means stone, Old Stone Age. Mesolithic is Middle Stone Age. And Neolithic is New Stone Age. Old Stone Age, Middle Stone Age, and New Stone Age. Old Stone Age, New Stone Age, and New Stone Age. Paleolithic, Mesolithic, Neolithic. Paleo means old, lithic means stone. Now let's talk about the Paleolithic. Paleolithic. In this Paleolithic age, old stone, sandstone was used to make the tools. And there were three types of tools. Three types of tools. Hand axe, chopper chopping, cleaver. Hand axe, cleaver or chopper chopping. Hand axe, cleaver and chopper chopping. These are the three tools normally used in Paleolithic period. So what are kinds of tools? So suppose this is a big sandstone and it was broken to make the like this. So this is a working border. This is the working border, right? You hold it like this, hand axe. Hand axe. And if you sharpen this become hand axe. If you sharpen this hand axe like this, from one side, you put it and then sharp come out, this is called cleaver. And then if you go by both the sides sharpening, this is called chopper chopping. So hand axe, cleaver and chopper chopping. Hand axe, cleaver and chopper chopping. These are the things. Cleaver and chopper chopping. These are the things. So sharpen from both ends means both sides you can cut. This is chopper chopping. One side you can cut, cleaver and then hand axe. So there are three types of tools. Three types of tools. Hand axe, cleaver and chopper chopping. Three types of tools. So these three tools are common to all over the world. Wherever there was a Paleolithic site, these tools were very common. So these tools were very common all over the world. Look, suppose you discuss about the European Paleolithic and the Indian Paleolithic. How much difference is there between European Paleolithic and the Indian Paleolithic? Just be very easy to understand. In Indian Paleolithic, wherever you found the tools, in Indian Paleolithic, wherever you found the tools, we have definite evidence of presence of human. Look at what is difference between European Paleolithic and Indian Paleolithic. Difference between European Paleolithic and Indian Paleolithic. All over the world we have the Paleolithic site. So difference between European Paleolithic and Indian Paleolithic. In European Paleolithic, wherever we found the tools, we have definite evidence presence of human. We have definite evidence of presence of human. In European Paleolithic, wherever we have found the tools, we have definite evidence of presence of human. Definite evidence of presence of human. But in Indian Paleolithic, we don't have evidence of human along with. We don't have evidence of human along with the tools. We have found tools at many places, but at the same time we don't have the evidence of human along with the tools. This is a difference. You must write these quotations, that in comparison with European and Indian Paleolithic, in European Paleolithic, wherever we found the tools, we have definite evidence of presence of human. Wherever we found the tools, we have the definite evidence of presence of human. But in Indian Paleolithic, wherever we found the tools, we don't have the presence of human, definite evidence of presence of human. Definite evidence of presence of human. It is said that because the soil of India is very acidic, so normally we don't have survivability of the so much of the bone tools or other material remains. So this is a problem with the Indian Paleolithic. Just because of finding of the tools, we call any site as a Paleolithic site. We call any site as a Paleolithic site. Maximum you can get question in prelims, and you be ready with all these facts and figures. Just keep on writing with the dotted lines. I hope you understand the difference between European Paleolithic and the Indian Paleolithic. So how the Indian Paleolithic, this study had started. This is also a very interesting point to understand, that how the study of Indian Paleolithic had started. Everything in India had started under the impression of British. The British had created the impression of Paleolithic age. What happened that 1867, there was a Cambridge expedition led by Robert Brucefoot. Cambridge. (1867), the Cambridge expedition led by Robert Brucefoot. Robert Brucefoot. There was Cambridge expedition led by Robert Brucefoot. Cambridge expedition led by Robert Brucefoot. He discovered first Paleolithic tool in India. Robert Brucefoot, he discovered first Paleolithic tool in India. There is a place in Tamil Nadu, Atirapakkam. Atirapakkam. This is a place in Tamil Nadu. Atirapakkam. This is a place in Tamil Nadu. Atirapakkam. Where Robert Brucefoot had found hand axe. Robert Brucefoot had found hand axe. And thereafter, the beginning of the Paleolithic age in India had started. Thereafter, beginning of Paleolithic age in India had started. Paleolithic. In higher studies, Paleolithic is divided in three periods. Lower Paleolithic, Middle Paleolithic and Upper Paleolithic. Lower Paleolithic, Middle Paleolithic and Upper Paleolithic. Now you are able to understand the handwriting. So lower Paleolithic, middle Paleolithic and upper Paleolithic. In middle Paleolithic, there was discovery of fire. Discovery of fire. The discovery of fire had almost revolutionized the entire process of the human life. Their food habits, their living pattern. So these food habits and the living pattern, social life, all had changed. All had changed. So Paleolithic, the first Paleolithic tools was discovered at Atirapakkam. So obviously it will be Paleolithic site. So discovery of fire. Look, the human were eating raw meats, fruits, nuts. These are the things normally eaten by human. But after discovery of fire, now they started roasting. Now they started eating tandoori. So it had totally revolutionized their lifestyle, their living pattern, their eating habit. So in middle Paleolithic, discovery of fire. In upper Paleolithic, human were started living in caves. I don't know where they were living before that, but at the end of the Paleolithic age, that means the upper Paleolithic age, they definitely started living in caves. So cave shelter had started in the upper Paleolithic age. Cave shelter had started in upper Paleolithic age. We have found many caves in the Paleolithic period. We have found many caves in the Paleolithic period. Many caves in the Paleolithic period, like Bhimbetka. Bhimbetka, it is in Madhya Pradesh. Bhimbetka, this is in Madhya Pradesh. And if you want to meet your ancestor, just go to Bhimbetka and have a nice meeting with your ancestor. Or your ancestor was living, just go to Bhimbetka, Madhya Pradesh, and then you can have a glimpse. In Bhimbetka, there are 800 cave shelters. 800. So there are 800 cave shelters, means that's entire area was like a village. So humans were living in that caves. So out of the cave shelter, 800 cave shelters, in 600 caves, there is beautiful painting. There is beautiful painting. So when they started living in cave, it's not like that they found the cave, they go inside and then sleep. They do beautiful painting inside the cave, and after that they sleep. So they were very tasteful. We have found many beautiful painting with example here at Bhimbetka. This is Paleolithic age. We are studying Paleolithic age in India. There are 800 cave shelters. And out of the 800, in 600 caves, there are beautiful painting. So Bhimbetka in Madhya Pradesh. Bhimbetka in Madhya Pradesh. Then in Uttar Pradesh, there is a place, Murena Pahar. Murena Pahar. Murena Pahar is in Uttar Pradesh. Here also we have a cave and the cave painting. We have found the caves and cave painting as well. Murena Pahar, we have found the caves and the cave painting. So they were very tasteful. They enter in the cave and they do beautiful narrow lake painting there, and when they were satisfied with the painting, they go to sleep. Otherwise they don't. So this is how the taste of that human living in Bhimbetka can be seen. So Murena Pahar. Murena Pahar. (800) caves are there in Bhimbetka. The 600 we have the painting. So what type of painting normally they do? Type of painting normally they do? Dry painting. Dry color on dry wall. They use natural color. The plant was squeezed and thereafter we have the color, green color. Plant was squeezed and after that we have a red color. So this red color or the green color was pasted on the walls, painted on the wall, so many. And because of the oxygen present in the rock, there is a process of oxidation. And thereafter till date, the paintings is there, the dilapidated condition is there, but till date we have survivability of some paintings. Okay, so therefore, dry color was painted on dry wall. This type of painting is called mural painting. Mural painting. Right, so Bhimbetka is the oldest one and we have paintings that is called mural painting. You must remember this is the earliest form of painting done by human. And this is also earliest exhibition of human art. So, mural painting in the cave of Paleolithic age, this is the earliest example of human art, earliest depiction of human art. This is earliest depiction of human art. Is it okay to you people? I hope you understand everything. I am taking all the facets that it is required for your examination. Normally in prelims question paper you can have this. So what I said, that upper Paleolithic age is known for the very good exhibition of Paleolithic art. Very good exhibition of Paleolithic art. So Bhimbetka is best among all. Bhimbetka is oldest among all. In Middle Paleolithic, there was discovery of fire, but in Upper Paleolithic, humans started living in caves. And in caves, we have Paleolithic art. First exhibition of Paleolithic art. Then what I said, that what type of exhibition they had. Hand axe, cleaver, chopper, chopping. There are so many fundamental things here. This is called mural painting. First exhibition of human art. That come from Bhimbetka. There is it is said that oxygen present in rock generally oxidize the color, and thereafter the longevity of the painting had increased. This is a reason given by the scientist If you want to go for the research, this is your tension, but this is simply thing that scientists said and I convey to you. Mural painting. This is the first exhibition of human art. So this is a Paleolithic age, and we divided Paleolithic into Lower Paleolithic, Middle Paleolithic and Upper Paleolithic. Some example, look at some example that I wanted to show you. We have ancient painting. There is a place in Uttarakhand, Lakhudiyar. This is a place in Uttarakhand. And look at this painting. This is a painting of Lakhudiyar. Lakhudiyar is in Uttarakhand. So this is actually recreated, because it is not as good as you see in the screen. So it is actually recreated. But the stick-like things was created to make the human. So this is not actually, it was recreated. So there is a stick-like thing that is there. Period not required. Remember only Paleolithic period. Okay. So Lakhudiyar. Here the painting can be divided in three categories: man, animal and the geometric patterns. In Lakhudiyar you can see the paintings. Here the man, animal and the geometric patterns. Black, white and red ochre color was with. Black, white and red ochre color was there. Not visible? No problem. No need of that slides. So we have example from Lakhudiyar. Lakhudiyar is in UK, Uttarakhand. So here we can see there are many examples of the Paleolithic painting. So here paintings are divided in three categories. Three categories: man, animal and geometric pattern. These are the three types of paintings that you can see from Lakhudiyar. This is also a Paleolithic painting. This is also Paleolithic painting. If you don't see, at least you see the photo. I hope it is visible to you. This is a Lakhudiyar painting. Different animals and the birds normally you can see with the stick-like image. From Lakhudiyar you can see the image of dance also. This is image of dance. The one person holding the hands of another, and that dancing sequence is there. This is from Lakhudiyar. So how they used to make a beautiful painting? How this is the just for understanding that they used to make beautiful painting before they had a cave shelter. Normally they had a cave shelter and this beautiful painting. This is a painting of Bhimbetka. So it is recreated because entire wall had got vanished. So it is a recreated. So this is a painting of Bhimbetka. Okay, if you're not visible, then no need to see picture. I will explain in the words. Or maybe some technical issues, so we need to adjust it. So we need to, I will explain in the words, nothing to worry. So Lakhudiyar painting. And there is another man, animal and geometrical patterns. These are the three things normally you can see the painting. So the people had a very good social life. They had all economic activities. Normally you see the painting and then find the economic activities of the human. So therefore you can see here all the social activities. Painting, man, animal and geometrical pattern. Lakhudiyar. Now come to the Mesolithic site. Mesolithic site. Paleolithic, Mesolithic and Neolithic. So Paleolithic site, look at Paleolithic, Mesolithic and Neolithic. So Mesolithic is actually what? Transition from Paleo to Neo. Transition from Paleo to Neo. This is called transition from Paleo to Neo. Transition from Paleo to Neo. So in Neolithic site, we have a very different type of tools. We have very different type of tools. The tools of Mesolithic site, you keep on writing the fact with the arrow. Tools of Mesolithic site was called microlith. Microlith. Micro means small, lith means stone. So tools of that Mesolithic site is called microlith. Means they had now started making a very small tools. 1 centimeter to 5 centimeter. This is the size of the tools. Very small tools normally they make. 1 centimeter to 5 centimeter. Now it's okay to all of you. Are you people writing? At least you catch my words and the figures that is there on the board. Is it visible to you people? Forget about the picture. And understanding is more important. So I'm point to point I am talking to you, so that all the chapters, all the topics that we are taking into, we need to have a bullet point at least. Okay, so microlith 1 centimeter to 5 centimeter. This is the size of the tools. So this is the size of the tools. In this age, we have the first human missile. They started making missile, bow and arrow. You can imagine, those who built the bow and arrow, they were not understanding less than America. It is something F-22 for them, Raptor. So this is a missile, bow and arrow. You hit arrow from a far distance. That is what is called the technology of missile was. And you might have seen in the serials that if you hit one arrow, then many comes out, multi-target missile. So human became very powerful. Now their hunting had become very easy. Now their hunting became very easy. Their hunting became very easy. So bow and arrow was used. Their hunting became very easy. Humans started using such an instrument like harpoons. Harpoons. You might have seen the hands of Mowgli, the throwing the harpoons and the cutting and coming back in his hand. So harpoons was also used. Very short and very effective weapons in the Mesolithic age. This is transition from Paleo to Neo. Means hand axe, cleaver, chopper, chopping, it was continued. But along with these new tools, whenever we find these new tools, then it's all right. Then we have a nice tools here. So Mesolithic period. In this period, hunting and food gathering continued. What was the economy of this period? Same economy. Economy of this period was hunting and food gathering. Hunting and food gathering was continued. Hunting and food gathering was continued in this period. Hunting and food gathering was continued in this period. But we have the evidence of wild variety of grain. Wild grain. Wild grain. Not sown properly in the field, but we have the wild variety of grain, and that is also a rice. Wild variety of grain, that is also rice. Very remotely available in the forest, not sown by the normal process, naturally grown, so wild variety of grain. So we have some sites in Gangetic Valley. In Gangetic Valley, there is a place, Allahabad. So we have found two places there. In fact, there is a river Belan, which is tributary of Ganga. So Belan river normally flow in Allahabad to merge in Ganga. So Belan River. So in Belan Valley, in fact, not in Gangetic Valley exactly, but in totality it is Gangetic Valley, but in Belan Valley we have found two places. Koldi Hava and Chopani Mando. These are the Mesolithic sites, but same sites is continued in Neolithic also. If you, in your book you find these sites in Neolithic, don't confuse it. Right? This is site which is there in the Mesolithic also and in continuity with the Neolithic also. So Koldi Hava and Chopani Mando in the Belan Valley. From Koldi Hava we have found oldest evidence of grain in the world. This is the fact, nice fact. From Koldi Hava, we have found the oldest evidence of grain in the world. Grain in the world. It's around 6500 BC. Oldest evidence of grain in the world. It's around 6500 BC. From Chopani Mando, we have found the oldest evidence of pottery in the world. Pottery. Obviously, handmade pottery. Handmade. We have found the oldest evidence of pottery, and that too is a handmade pottery. This is a fantastic example of Neolithic period. This is a super example of Neolithic period, Mesolithic period. So we are talking about the Mesolithic. We have seen this is a transition from Paleo to Neo. In this phase, we have found a tools called microlith. The size of that tools is 1 centimeter to 5 centimeter. We have bow and arrow. We have harpoons. So now the hunting became very easy for them. Okay, and clear fact is that we have the two important sites in the Belan Valley near Allahabad, Koldi Hava and Chopani Mando. And we have found the hand axe. Hand axe along with macrolith tools. So two places, Koldi Hava and Chopani Mando. From Koldi Hava, we have found the oldest evidence of grain in the world. And from Chopani Mando, we have found the evidence of pottery. We have found the evidence of pottery, handmade pottery. This is enough evidence, enough example of the Lithic period. Now come to the Neolithic period. All these facts we will clear here and only here only. Neolithic period. Neolithic period. Neolithic period is called Neolithic Revolution. This is something very revolutionary period. Revolutionary period. Neolithic period is called Neolithic Revolution. What is revolutionary in this period? First point. agriculture became a dominant economy. Let me write, then I will ask you whether you are able to write it or not. Agriculture became dominant economy. Means hunting and food gatherings are there, but agriculture became dominant economy. So domestication of animal also started. Domestication of animal also started. Agriculture became dominant economy, so domestication of animal also started. Domestication of animal also started. Third point. Look, when you do hunting and food gathering, you keep on moving from one place to another. But when you do agriculture, you need to stay at one place. So now settled habitation had started. Settled habitation had started. This is called village. Village life. Beginning of village life. Settled habitation had started. This is called beginning of village life. What I said, Neolithic period, it is called revolution. What are the factors which we say this is a revolution? First I said agriculturally dominant economy. For agriculture, domestication of animal had also started. For agriculture, you need to stay at one place, and therefore settled habitation had also started. Agriculture is such a complex thing that many peoples needed involvement. So therefore, the agriculture is such a complex thing that many peoples needed involvement of many people. So therefore, there will be a joint family or kinship. Kinship. So joint family and or kinship. Joint family or kinship had started. In this phase, the copper was the first metal used by human. Copper. It was first metal used by human. So copper is used in making the tools, household tools or any hunting tools. So now the first metal that come across with, that is powder which was used to make tools. There is a bone tools. Bone tools was also started. For bone tools, when you started bone as a raw material to make tools, you can make knife, you can make needle, so more sharper weapons. More sharper weapons had started. This is called bone tools. More sharper weapons had started. bone tools. So these are the characteristics which make the Neolithic age, Neolithic revolution. Now tell me whether you people are able to write it very correctly. This is the way that I taught you in a very dictating mode. Always your pen should be there on the paper, and if I keep on speaking repeatedly, you need to write. So I hope you are able to write this very correctly, and there is no issue with the font size as well. As I presume, let me understand from your side. Neolithic age is called Neolithic revolution. In India, at many places, we have the Neolithic revolution, Neolithic sites. Almost all entire India, there is a Neolithic site. Entire India, there would be Neolithic site. From Kashmir, we have the two important Neolithic sites, Burjahom and Gufkaral. Burjahom and Gufkaral. Like one cave in continuity with many phases, Paleolithic, then Mesolithic, then Neolithic. So it's not like that human left that cave. So Neolithic people had also painted a different version. Paleolithic people also had a different version. Okay, so this is how there is no 6500 BC. Where did you read that 65,000? So Burjahom and Gufkaral. These are the two sites in Kashmir, which is a model site. These are the two sites in Kashmir. This is Neolithic site. Then one is Mehergarh. Mehergarh, it is a Neolithic site. Mehergarh is a Neolithic site. In Bihar, there is a place called Chirand. Chirand in Bihar. This is a Neolithic site. This is a Neolithic site. Garo and Khasi. In Assam and Meghalaya, Garo and Khasi, this is also a Neolithic site. This is also Neolithic site. Pikli Hall in Karnataka. Pikli Hall in Karnataka. And Nagarjun Konda. Nagarjun Konda in Andhra Pradesh. There are many sites on Maski, Brahmagiri. There are many sites, but some of the sites I have shown you just to make you understand that the Neolithic site was totally spreaded in vast majority of areas. Vast majority of areas. Nagarjun Konda. So out of the many sites that you can see on the screen, Burjahom and Gufkaral is the model site. Gufkaral, Burjahom and Gufkaral is a model site. Model of Neolithic culture. So what we see in Burjahom, why it is considered as the model of Neolithic site? So what we see in Burjahom, all the characteristics of the Neolithic culture we see in Burjahom, all the characteristics, but there are some excellent addition in that characteristics. Like first excellent addition is they started living in a pit dwelling. Pit dwelling. They started living in pit dwelling. Pit dwelling. What is meaning of pit dwelling? Look how they construct the houses in Kashmir. Suppose this is a earth. And the houses was made like this. Houses was made like this. This is the surface of the earth. And pit dwelling. This is construction of the house. 2/3 part of the house is below the earth and only 1/3 is above. Hut size like this. Hut size is very small. Right? You are a Neolithic person in Burjahom, then keep on running and then jump in the house. This is called pit dwelling. So this is a super specialty of the Kashmiri Neolithic. Pit dwelling. Other than whatever we have discussed about the characteristics of Neolithic culture, everything we find there in the Kashmir, except this is an additional thing. Otherwise, in rest part of the India, we find the Neolithic sites, they were living in the cave shelters. They were living in the cave shelters. But here, they were living the pit dwelling, which is a super specialty of the Kashmiri Neolithic culture. Secondly, in graves of Burjahom, dog was buried with human. Dog was buried with human. This is something very unique. dog was buried with human. Dog was buried with human means the dog is the best company of human. Dog is the best company of human. Particularly for hunting, dog is the best company of human. So whenever human die, dog also died after some time, then they buried at the same place. It's not like that if a human die, then kill the dog to bury together. Or supposedly dog died earlier, then kill the human to bury together. It's not like that. Whosoever will die will put besides the grave. So this is something like the Kashmiris also had developed the concept called life after death. Concept of life after death. Life after death. We also developed the concept of life after death. So this is this formula that dog was buried with human in the graves, that shows that life after death. That shows life after death. So Burj home, pit dwelling, and in the grave that we have the dog was buried with the master. Dog was buried with the master. Right, so this is a Kashmiri Neolithic culture, which is a model of all the Neolithic cultures. So anyway, what we have learned till now, that the Kashmir and other places, entire India, there was a Neolithic community, and the main basis of their economy was agriculture. So anyway, this is a transition. If you see Paleo to Neo, a transhuman migration. It paved the way for settled habitation. What I said, the transhuman migration of the Paleolithic period, hunter and food gatherers, they follow what? Transhuman migration. But agriculturists follow settled habitation. Hunting and food gathering. So hunting and food gathering, H by F means hunting and food gathering, it paved the way for rise of agriculture. It paved the way for the rise of agriculture. Hunting and food gathering paved the way for agriculture. So now we have the complex economic system that had started during this period. Complex economic system had started during this period. This is a transition, big transition that you can find. Mehergarh is also a very important Neolithic site. Mehergarh, this is also very important Neolithic site. Mehergarh. Mehergarh is also a very important Neolithic site. The location of Mehergarh is the transition between Iran and the Indus plain. Iran and Indus plain. In between there is a transition. Here in Mehergarh we find the pattern of urbanization. Pattern of urbanization. Pattern of urbanization. When Kalibangan is an Harappan site mainly, not Neolithic site. Kalibangan is a Harappan site. So this is called prehistoric age. This is called prehistoric age. Prehistoric age. We have seen the Paleolithic, Mesolithic, Neolithic, a prehistoric age. And the characteristics of all these ways. So don't have so much of the questions to come from there, but what I will suggest you, there is a one chapter in NCERT or the books you might have received from here. Just read that book, and I hardly found any fact that you will have to write here. So go through that chapter, first chapter, that is Stone Age, and then if you find anything, put the same facts here at your notes that you have made in the class, and that this chapter is over. Normally, we don't have questions from this segment. If at all possible, then it will come in the prelims. So this is enough facts and figures that we have put here. Dog was buried with master. In the grave of Kashmir, dog was buried with master. Means jiska dog tha, but whosoever having the dog, if they died, then will be buried along with. So suppose his master died and dog is still alive. After a few days, few months, few years, dog will die, then will be buried besides that the grave. It's because of the company of dog is very important for hunting and food gathering. Company of dog is very important for hunting, at least. Hunting at least. So have you noted all the facts and figure? I hope you don't have any trouble in the Stone Age. And you might have found the things interesting also. Ancient India normally follow NCERT, old. Now come to the Indus Valley civilization. Indus Valley civilization. Indus Valley civilization. Indus Valley civilization. First urban civilization. First urban civilization. Indus Valley civilization or the first urban civilization. First urban civilization. Here we have a question. Definitely in the pre and mains you will have a question there. Read NCERT, class 11th. Only in the class 11th we have the NCERT for the ancient India. Not 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, no need. Directly you read class 11th NCERT. And the reading material that you might have got from the institute. So that is enough. And the class notes that we will make here. Art and culture we will do separately, nothing to worry. We have a separate segment for the art and culture. So first urban civilization, Indus Valley civilization. You'll find that in 3000 BC, that means in the 3rd millennium BC, there were urban revolution in many parts of the world. Urban revolution in many parts of the world. 3rd millennium BC. So oldest civilization known as per the carbon dating is Mesopotamian civilization, followed by Greek and the Indian and the Egypt civilization, then Chinese civilization, then Greek civilization. This is the hierarchy that is there. What I said, the oldest civilization is looking to be Mesopotamia, Mesopotamian civilization. Mesopotamian civilization. Egypt and Indus was almost parallel. Then we have the Chinese civilization. Then we have a Greek civilization. Egypt and Indus civilization, Chinese civilization and Greek civilization. Greek civilization. Mesopotamian civilization is the oldest civilization. Oldest civilization. Then comes the Egypt and Indus, then Chinese, then Greek. Right? Then comes the Indus, then Chinese, then Greek. Handmade pottery was the mostly used. Potters will develop in the 4th millennium BC, that is around 4000 BC. Right? We will discuss right now, just don't worry. Mesopotamia, Egypt. Egypt and Indus is almost parallel. Chinese thereafter and the Greek thereafter. But in time carbon dating, Mesopotamian civilization is the oldest civilization. Oldest civilization. All had developed in the 3rd millennium BC, 3000 BC. All had developed in the 3000 BC. So how we come to know about the Indus Valley civilization? This is another fantastic story. Indus. How the Indus Valley civilization came into being. Look, 1826. All these things are developed during the time of British. 1826, there was a survey for the railway line in the northwestern India. And there was a surveyor general named Charles Mason. Then Charles Mason, he found in that area some unique and antique items like bricks, potteries, utensils, which was used in a very, very ancient and primitive-like structure. So therefore, Charles Mason had predicted that this area may be a part of a very old civilization. Okay, so what I said, 1826, Charles Mason he was doing survey for the railway line. survey for the railway line. Charles Mason, he was doing survey for the railway line. He found many primitive tools and utensils in northwestern India. He found many primitive tools and utensils in the northwestern India. So therefore he predicted the existence of civilization. He predicted the existence of civilization. He predicted the existence of civilization. But 1924, there was a person named John Marshall. John Marshall. He surveyed many places in the northwestern India. Particularly, he surveyed at Harappa. Harappa is in Pakistani Punjab today. Pakistani Punjab today. He surveyed at Harappa. And then he was first person who used the term Indus Valley Civilization. John Marshall, he was the first person who used the term Indus Valley Civilization. Thereafter, the interest of the civilization had started. Thereafter, the interest of the civilization had started. John Marshall, he surveyed at Harappa, and there are many places in and around having the same aspects of material culture and format of city. Therefore, he used the term Indus Valley Civilization. It started, the journey of Indus Valley Civilization in India had started after that, 1924 onward. So from there, from first city that came into existence till date, there are 2000 sites had discovered. 2000 sites had discovered till date. 2000 sites had discovered till date. So what is the extent of the civilization? How long it had extended? Extent of civilization. You can give the heading extent of civilization. I am giving you the boundary where the civilization is located. The northernmost limit is Manda. Manda in Jammu and Kashmir. Northernmost limit. We don't have any site beyond that. Manda, it is located on the bank of river Chenab. It is located on the bank of river Chenab. Manda is located on the bank of river Chenab. This is the northernmost limit of Indus Valley civilization. Then we have Daimabad. It is in Maharashtra. Daimabad. This is in Maharashtra. It is located on the bank of river Parabara. Which is a tributary of Godavari. It is located on the bank of river Parabara, which is the tributary of Godavari. Then easternmost limit we have Alamgirpur. Alamgirpur. It is situated on the bank of river Hindon. In Uttar Pradesh. Beyond that, we don't have any site. So this is the easternmost site. And here in the western side we have Sutkangedor. This is in Pakistan, Balochistan. So this is the entire stretch of the Indus Valley civilization from Jammu and Kashmir to Maharashtra and then Balochistan to UP. Balochistan to UP. So Manda to Daimabad and then Sutkangedor to Alamgirpur. Around 2000 sites are there till date. We have discovered 2000 sites in between. If you count the total area of spread from northern to southern limit and eastern to western, 1.3 million square kilometer. 1.3 million square kilometer area. 13 lakh kilometer area, square kilometer area generally covered. This is the coverage of the area of the entire Indus Valley civilization. Okay, so 1.3 million square kilometer area. 13 lakh square kilometer. There are 2000 urban sites are there. 2000 urban sites are there. So 2000 urban sites are there, in which some important sites. Important site. Harappa, Mohenjo-daro, Lothal, Kalibangan, Dholabira. These are the some important sites. Out of the 2000 sites, we could not study all, but almost having the same structure. So out of the 2000 sites, these are the some of the important sites: Harappa, Mohenjo-daro, Lothal, Kalibangan, Dholavira. So these are the mature Harappan sites. These are the matured Harappan sites. Mostly, some historians says that how the Harappan civilization had originated. Origin of civilization. First say that this idea is imported from Mesopotamia. Imported from Mesopotamia. This is one theory described by the historians, that the basic idea of the civilization was imported from Mesopotamia, because Mesopotamian civilization was older civilization than Harappans, and there is a close trading connection with these civilizations. But you know, Mesopotamian civilization was not as developed as Harappans. Material culture of Mesopotamian civilization was less developed than Harappans. Harappan civilization was looking more developed than Mesopotamia. So this is the reason why this could not become the part of the urban civilization. So it is locally evolved. It should be locally evolved. Many Neolithic community, it had gradually evolved. I will give you example of Lothal from 6000 to 2000 BC. In between we have the 4000 BC, we have the Potter's Wheel, which was discovered from the Mehergar. So we will talk about that. Okay, no, Halbana district in Surat is not the extent of the civilization. I am talking about the eastern, western and the northern, southern limit. Surat is in between. Lothal, Kalibangan, these are the some important sites in between. Okay. Potter's Wheel discovered which period? Neolithic period, of course. Fine. 4000 BC. We will talk about the pottery. Yes, we will highlight the cultural and aesthetic period. We have a separate session for art and culture. This is the reason why I skip that. I will keep on writing here from, like, if we talk about the civilization, we'll definitely talk about the culture. So tomorrow, suppose we talk about the religion of Harappan civilization, we can talk about that. Which class NCERT? 11th class you must read. Any more questions that you can put? I hope you understand the syllabus and the category. Of demarcation, how we will proceed with. This is the technique that we will follow. So keep on writing the notes. Like today we have a class notes. Then you go through the NCERT that I suggested you and make a comprehensive notes of both together. This is the way that you can finish very easily. After less, there is no, where is less? LESS. Oh, material culture of Mesopotamia was less developed compared to Harappans. Material culture of Mesopotamia was less developed compared to Harappans. we will compare the Mesopotamian and the Harappans. Harappans was looking more evolved than Mesopotamia. So no more questions. So should we call a day today? We will meet sharp at 2 tomorrow. And tomorrow will be very interesting time when we talk about the Harappan civilization in detail and will understand the characteristics of that civilization. Okay, then thank you so much. That's all for the day.